Hello viewers, welcome to this special outdoorsy version of the ZigAnalysis. Today we are talking about the KTM 390 Adventure family. Now we recently rode the X as well as the SW trims. Both turned out to be super impressive in their own right. And if you're wondering which variant to get, the standard, the X or the SW, or perhaps even the V, the low seat version, which is not quite here but you'll find it at KTM dealerships, well, this video should help you out. But instead of telling you which variant is better than the other, I will be presenting you scenarios and helping you decide which version suits that scenario the best. So if you're someone who's going to be using his motorcycle as a tool to commute, to work on the weekdays, go out on the weekends to do some touring and maybe even come to places like this, I would suggest get the X. Because firstly, of the suspension, it is a lot more pliant than the standard version. In the urban jungle, you'll find it absorbs bumps, potholes, speed humps much better than the standard version. It sort of provides you a raw, unfiltered, unrestricted riding experience, something like the OG 390 did. I know it still has ride-by-wire, but there are no electronics hampering its riding experience. And in that sense, its rawness just puts a smile to your face. But having said that, when you're out, say, touring, high-speed touring, or even when you're going a little bit rough roading, you would find the MRF tires do not do quite justice to the motorcycle's capabilities. There is a limit to the tires. They will start squiggling or they will start stepping out. But that's where an experienced hand would appreciate the X. So a newbie rider, someone who is progressing from an Xpulse 200 or a Suzuki V-Strom 250, well, you need your skills to be on point to extract the best of the X. Having said that, you can learn the limits of the X with these MRF tires, and once you do run these tires into the ground, you can use the saved 60,000 rupees to buy something better, perhaps the Metzeler Tourans or the Rice Motor tires. But if you're someone who appreciates a balanced, a well-rounded approach, who is keen on going off-roading, well, get the SW. I think it should have been called something else, but I'll get to that very soon. Get the SW, not for the spoke wheels, but for the adjustable suspension. I mean, the suspension right now, set it up perfectly, it will absorb a lot more. The bike rides flat, the bike stays composed when you're going off-roading. And in that sense, that's what helps you gain more confidence when you're going into uncharted territories. Yes, the engine is still manic, it's still mental, but that suspension allows you to stay firmly in control of the motorcycle. The electronics package in that sense does not quite do justice to the motorcycle. What I mean by that is, firstly, the quick shifter, I would completely keep it off because it's not a quick shifter. It doesn't work like a quick shifter should. It's sort of like a Jugadu quick shifter, because what a quick shifter should do is make your upshifts as well as downshifts breezy. It is anything but breezy over here. They are notchy, they will not shift into the perfect gear when you do want to use that aid. And it's not acting like an aid, it's more of a hindrance. Plus the traction control. Now, on road, it does do its job fairly well, but when you're out off-roading, you switch off traction control, and on the older bike, it used to remain off until you switched off the ignition. Now, if you do stall the bike, which happens more often when you're especially on an incline, or necessarily if you have a small spill or something, if you stall the bike, the traction control will come back on, and then you'll again spend some time switching the traction control off, which is a slightly time-taking process, and in that sense, it is a little bit of a hindrance. But still, the adjustable suspension makes the small software niggles worth upgrading to. In that sense, the standard version sort of seems lost with these two promising new variants now coming into the market. It doesn't quite absorb bumps like the other two do. It's sort of still hindering with the traction control, and overall it's not coming as impressive as the other two are. The only reason why I think you would go for the standard and not for either of these two is because of alloy wheels and the presence of tubeless tires. Now the SW version, it's called SW because it's running on spoke wheels, and spoke wheels here are not of the tubeless type. So there is a tube inside, and if you do encounter a situation where you have to fix punctures, well, that is a time consuming process, and fixing punctures with a spoke wheel setup is not ideal, especially for 2023. And as we found out, the alloy wheels of the KTM 390 Adventures turn out to be fantastic for, say, terrain such as this, to take you out into the open wild. And we've rarely heard of issues where the alloy wheel has bent now. It used to be a problem of the old KTMs. It isn't that much of an issue now. So that's the standard. Now, if you are walking into a KTM showroom, you will not find the fourth variant there. You will have to ask them for it. Now, the only reason why you want the V, which is the low seat version, is you are one who is looking to use his 390 Adventure solely on tarmac. You are not looking for off-roading, and in that sense, the specs of that bike, well, we've not written it, but the specs of that bike suggest that it's more of a elongated 390 Duke, current generation 390 Duke. It's more roomy, it's more comfortable, and it's got a larger tank. So highway stints will definitely be longer on that V version. And it also costs the same as the standard version, so you're not paying extra for the low seat option. If you are interested for the standard, I would definitely suggest you spend that 20,000 rupees extra and get the SW. And if you're a newbie rider, the X will scare you. So in that sense, when you factor in EMI costs, which should appear on your screen right now, the difference between the EMI cost for the X and the SW isn't that much. So if you are willing to stretch your budget, you will get a motorcycle which has a lot more in terms of ability, a lot more in terms of learning potential, and it would serve you for far longer period. If I were to put down money to buy a 390 Adventure, I would definitely go for the SW trim. Although I would swap out the spoke wheels and get alloy wheels, because I would be able to fit tubeless tires in that sense and make use of the convenience that the tubeless tires offer. And then that bike would be better off to be called the Rally. Imagine KTM actually called it the Rally variant and not the SW variant. Imagine the appeal of owning a Rally version. But that is the KTM 390 Adventure family. Do let me know what you think about this sort of a video, what else we should do in the future, how else we can improve this video. Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and share this video, subscribe to ZigWheels, hit the bell notification icon, and we shall see you soon.